Okay. Mahaprasad कीजिए. जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन्नवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन्नवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय यशोदनन्दन भज जनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन भज जनरञ्जन जमुना तीरा वनचारी जमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय यशोदनन्दन भज जनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन भज जनरञ्जन जमुना तीरा वनचारी जमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय जय विश्वपाद परमहंस परिव्राज श्री श्रीमद् भागवतम भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री भोपाल की इस्कॉन फाउंडेशन श्री भोपाल की जय विभूति वैष्णववृंद की जय नाम चर्च श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय परम श्री घोष श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री द्वैत गदाधर श्री वासुदेव गौर भक्तवृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा माधव गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधाकुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की जय श्री वृंदावन श्री मथुरा धाम की जय नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगा माई जमुना माई की जय तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की जय सांग वेद भक्तवृंद की जय हरे नाम संकीर्तन की जय श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी All glories to the assembled devotees. Glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru Gauranga. Glories to Sarvabhav. This morning I'm reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 4, entitled Ambarish Maharaj, offended by Durvasa Muni. Text number 27, 28. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Excuse me, chapter 5. This is this text 28. Ambarishasya charitam ye shinvanti mahatmana muktim prayanti te sarve bhaktya vishnu prasadata. Ambarishasya charitam ye shinvanti mahatmana muktim prayanti te sarve bhaktya vishnu prasadata. Amrishasya charitam ye shinvanti mahatmana muktim prayanti te sarve bhaktya vishnu prasadata. Mataji. Shinvanti Mahatmana Muktim te sarve bhaktya vishnu prasadata. Ambarishasya, of Maharaj Ambarish, Charitam, character, Jay, Persons who Shrinvanti, hear, Mahatmana, of the great personality, the great devotee, Muktim, liberation, Prayanti, certainly they attain, Te, such persons, Sarve, all of them, Bhaktya, simply by devotional service, Vishnu, of Lord Vishnu, Prasadata, by the mercy. Translation: by the grace of the Lord, those who hear about the activities of Maharaj Ambarisha, the great devotee, certainly become liberated and become devotees without delay. Please repeat. By the grace of the Lord, those who hear about the activities of Maharaj Ambarish, the great devotee, certainly become liberated or become devotees without delay. Thus ends, there's no purport. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 9th canto, 5th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Durvasa Muni's Life Spirit. Okay. One before, 26-27. Ityetat punyam ad akyanam ambarisha bhuyape shankitayan anudyayan bhakta bhagavato bhavet. Translation: anyone who chants this narration, or even thinks of this narration about the activities of Maharaj Ambarish, certainly becomes a pure devotee of the Lord. Purport by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur herein gives a very good example. When one is very eager for more and more money, he is not satisfied even when he is a millionaire or a multimillionaire, but wants to earn more and more by any means. The same mentality is present in a devotee. The devotee is never satisfied thinking, this is the limit of my devotional service. The more he engages in the service of the Lord, the more service he wants to give. This is the position of a devotee. Maharaj Ambarish, in his family life, was certainly a pure devotee, complete in every respect, because his mind and all his senses were engaged in devotional service. Savai Mana Krishna Padaya Vindayo Chamsi Vaikunta Gunanuvarnane. Maharaj Ambarish was self-satisfied because all of his senses were engaged in devotional service. Savo padhi vimuktiranam tatpatena nirmalam hrishikesha sevanam bhakti ukchate. Nonetheless, although Maharaj Ambarish had engaged all his senses in devotional service, he left home and went to the forest to concentrate his mind fully at the lotus feet of Krishna. Exactly as a mercantile man, even though complete in wealth, tries to earn more and more. This mentality of getting more and more engaged in devotional service puts one in the most exalted position. Whereas on the karma platform, the mercantile man who wants more and more money becomes increasingly bound and entangled. The devotee becomes increasingly liberated. End of purport. Om Gyanan Tanam Dhasya Gyanan Gyanan Salakaya Chakshurmanitam Tashmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Translations again. Anyone who chants this narration or even thinks of this narration about the activities of Maharaj Ambarish certainly becomes a pure devotee of the Lord. By the grace of the Lord, those that hear about the activities of Maharaj Ambarish, the great devotee, certainly become liberated or become devotees without delay. Hare Krishna. Shortcut. So this is we're reading about the characteristics of the pure, unalloyed devotee, Ambarish Maharaj. Because this is the 9th canto. After reading the first 9 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam, one is sure to become self-realized. And in that position of self-realization, then we can actually appreciate 10th canto, which takes directly into Golok or Gokul. Goes to Vrindavan. Then you can actually appreciate Krishna's pastimes. He's dealing with his devotees and the love and exchanges that they are feeling. It's not on the material platform of desire for self-aggrandizement, for profit or gain. So one has to be free from these designations. Savupuri Vinuktarimam. That means free from all the designations that we have. We're born with these karmas, these samskaras, the identifications of this body and the consciousness that goes with it to fulfill the desires, or illusory desires, that we can find satisfaction and happiness within matter, within the material world. So the pure devotees are free from these desires. So this is the 9th canto of the characteristics of pure unalloyed devotion, which we need to achieve. That's your passport, that's your visa to enter into the spiritual realm, into the realm of actually dealing with Krishna. And here you see, like in the story of pastime of Nrsingadev and Prahlad, mostly it's Prahlad, most chapters about Prahlad Maharaj, you'll see that contrast. You got the pure devotee and you got the great demon on one side. It's a similar thing in here in these chapters about Ambarish Maharaj and Durvasa. And because Ambarish was the emperor of the world, which means that's for a human, that's the best position, best situation, the best opportunity, the best facility to enjoy, right? If you're the emperor, you can do what you like, more or less. So that's on one. He represents the king. The king represents the Vishak, the enjoyer. He's the enjoyer. He's above the law practically. He can enjoy as he likes. So he represents the desire for happiness, enjoyment. And these are the two things that keep this material world perpetuating. Is this desire for happiness and the desire for control or freedom from the modes of nature. And Durvasa, he's one of the greatest sages, unquestionably. So here he represents the power, the control. He's a self-realized yogi. He travels at the universe at his will, free will. Very powerful. So he represents the Gyan aspect, that he can control, and he does control to a certain extent. But the difference between them is that Maharaj Ambarish is not bewildered by his situation. He's not much interested in all that facility that he has at his disposal to enjoy. Whereas Durvasa, he's actually dependent on that. That's what makes him the Rasa Muni, the powerful sage. He's got to show something, right? You're not just going to talk. So, and the story goes that he got upset with. He actually tried to make him upset. The Rasa Muni has that temperament, although he's a great sage. And know of the scriptures, he still has some nature he can't shake off of losing his temper very quickly. So he cursed Maharaj Ambarish. In fact, he was going to kill him. He created a demon from a hair on his head. He threw it on the floor, chanted mantra, and that's the kind of person he was. And Ambarish Maharaj, he just wasn't fazed. So he was peaceful. He'd taken shelter of Krishna, right? He was a pure devotee already, so he was already taken shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna. So once one experiences the shelter of Krishna, then you're not going to look anywhere else for shelter, because that's complete shelter. Because Jiva Shrupoi Nitya Krishna Das. Everyone is the eternal servant of Krishna. Everyone belongs at the lotus feet of Krishna. Everyone is a slave of Krishna. Our position is at the lotus feet of Krishna as his servant. So Maharaj Ambarish had realized and was experiencing that. So he just wasn't fazed by anything else. He just saw everything else as the workings of karma, the workings of material nature. He said he didn't even take one step back when that big demon appeared before him. That's commendable. He wasn't afraid, fearless. Purely taken shelter of Krishna. So he's not going to think, what am I going to do? How am I going to get out of this? Because he's already taken shelter of Krishna, which is the last stop for many people, right? When we have problems, we try everything. When all resources fail, when all the doctors fail, then we turn to God, please. Dr. Nrsingadeva, please. So, but he was already at that situation of complete surrender. So he wasn't faced. He wasn't really. Well, not only he wasn't really concerned about that. He was thinking of the welfare of the Rasa. It's another characteristic of the unalloyed devotees. They always think of the welfare of all the living entities, because everyone's bewildered according to their different karmas and the upadis that they have. They're all identifying with something in material, and so he's considering that he's feeling compassion on the souls. That's a characteristic of the pure devotees, that as long as they're clinging to these designations, then they can't know Krishna in full. So he feels compassion. So he feels sorry for them, that they should let them go. As Devasha himself proclaims, when he came back, he ran away. He tried to, of course, when the demon tried to kill Ambarish Maharaj, then he was dependent on Krishna. So Krishna had to reciprocate. He had to. That's his rule, right? As you surrender them, they are reciprocate. If you surrender to me, then Krishna will give you protection. You're not trying to protect yourself. Defending is a material situation when you're trying to defend. But so then Krishna defends. He has to. He has to out of rule, because he's completely free. But he's obliged out of love to do it, because my devotee has no shelter than me. I have to protect them. So Krishna's conquered by this attitude. Krishna's conquered by this love of his devotee, who is only dependent on Krishna. He has no other resource than Krishna. That means he's given up all these upadis, all these ideas of what he is, or we are, or what we could be in the future. He's given up these dreams. It's very rare. Very, very difficult to give those things up, right? We know, we're trying. We're sadhakas, we're practicing this. So he gets direct darshan of Vishnu. He's so powerful. And he says, help me. Withdraw your Shuddha-san. I can't. She's out of my control. Shuddha-san is independent. He knows me. He knows my nature, and he knows me very well. And he's you'll have to go back to get blessings from Ambarish, get forgiveness. And that's what we see. Ambarish was praying to Shuddha-san that if I've done any pious deeds, if I've done anything pious in my life, please let the results of that go to this poor Brahmana who's being scorched by the heat, or by your heat. Please consider our prayers for him. Someone's trying to kill him, and he's thinking of the benefit. Reminiscent of Haridas Thakur, same situation. He's only thinking of their welfare. He says, I wish, for whatever sacrifices, ceremonies, I wish to exchange that his Brahma would be freed from this burning caused by you. So that's the characteristics of the pure unalloyed devotion. So this is the footsteps we should be following in. And Shuddha-san reciprocated. He withdrew, went away, and Durvasa was very happy, naturally. He was concerned about his existence. So that's the difference. Ambarish wasn't very much concerned about his material existence, because he was firmly fixed in devotion to Krishna, which can't be impeded by any material circumstances. There's no material hindrance to surrendering to Krishna. We make it a hindrance because we're identifying ourselves with that. There's no, because it's a natural constitution. So how can there be any actual hindrance to surrender to Krishna? It's only due to our attachment to these upadis that we can't let them go. It's not that it's not that we can't. It's not that they're actually impediments. It's that we're attached to them. They're not attached to us. They're not holding. Maya is not putting a noose around us. We're hanging on to Maya because she's offering a little freedom and a little pleasure. And we've tasted that, and we don't want to let it go. We don't want to give those things up. So these are the upadis that one has to be free from. So Ambarish had that. But Durvasa, he wasn't. So now he's elated. And now he's realizing that this, the position of the bhaktas, the pure devotees. Because he was thinking in terms of a bodily designation when he came. He's a king, he's a Kshatriya, I'm a Brahman Rishi. He's in a lower situation. I'm a renunciant, he's a householder, he's in a lower position. He was thinking like that. So he was attached to but Durvasa wasn't, Ambarish wasn't thinking like that. Although he had all that facility, he wasn't attached to it. Because he had the higher taste, he had understood his experience in his relationship with Krishna. So when that's there, then then one automatically loses the taste. And in the beginning stages of bhakti that we practice, we engage our senses in the service of the Lord. Then as the result of this upadis, they go away, those unwanted things, they disappear. And the senses become purified. This is the practice in the Vaidhi sadhana. That's what happens. You get free from material desire. They gradually go away. And the senses become purified if one is sincerely following. Because it's only with those pure senses, we can serve the Lord, because He's all pure. The spiritual world, everything is pure. So unless you're of the same nature, you cannot reciprocate. You cannot enter and experience that. So then he understood his position, Durvasa, and he began to glorify the qualities of Maharaj and offering all kinds of benedictions. As his business as a sage to bless, but actually he understood. He was actually humbled by this whole thing. He understood the position of the bhakta is greater than that of the yogis. And he says here, this is earlier on in the verse, Durvasa saying, "My dear king, today I have experienced the greatness of the devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For although I committed an offense, you have prayed for my good fortune. Then for those who achieve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master of the pure devotees, what is impossible to do and what is impossible to give up?" Right? So we find things are impossible to do, some things, right? Some things especially we find impossible to give up. Even though we have a good intention, we want to give them up, but weakness of heart comes in, where attachment is there, and there's our feeling of security or pleasure is there, which is what we're actually looking for in the beginning of bhakti, because we're coming from that position of trying to be the enjoyer, trying to be the controller. So now we know we're not the enjoyer, we know we're not the controller, but still that inclination to control and enjoy is still there. It doesn't go away, because the material world is uncomfortable for the soul. So the inclination to control it is quite natural. It won't go away, right? It's unnatural for the soul to suffer. So it's natural to try to defend. But where you're going to look for your defense is the thing. If you're looking in the material world, that is illusion. And the happiness that we achieve in the material sense, through the material senses, is attractive, because there's some happiness there. That's what we want. We can't live without that happiness, because it's against our nature. The nature is ananda, you see. So you can't stop that. You can't stop these desires. But in the case of Ambarish, we see the pure devotees. They don't reflect the same qualities as we do. These two things are the motivation behind everything we do. So whether the karmi or the jnani or the yogi, they're all looking for ultimately they're looking for the same thing. They're looking for freedom and happiness. So for me, but they're not looking for Krishna. But the actual constitution is we're the servant of Krishna. Our activities should be in accordance with the desire of Krishna for his pleasure. This is the natural condition of the living entity. But because we've forgotten Krishna, then we put ourselves in that place, each individual. Why not? What better person to put there than me? Right? That's how we feel. I'm the one that's going to experience. So that's the problem with the material. We've been doing that for possibly billions and billions of births. Who knows how long? And we're just not going to stop now. Right now, all of a sudden, and it's not possible. It's not possible to change your nature drastically. So philosophy is there to understand the philosophy, but the philosophy may give you determination, but it won't. It doesn't really increase your faith. That experience increases the faith most when you actually experience what spirituality taste, higher taste. That here we're talking about the greed. One should be greedy like the materialist is greedy, the Vaishya is greedy to make more and more and more and more. That's the nature of the mode of passion. But Khatri also, he wants to conquer, he wants to control more and more and more. So and it's similar for the devotees, they want to control more and more and more. They want to, of course, till that position of pure unalloyed devotees, while these upadhis are still there, then these are the desires we do want to control. We do want to become free from that, and we're accepting Krishna's version. You do this, then you can become free from the influence of the kleshas, as in nature, and you'll live happily ever after in the kingdom of God. So this is still the impetus, and in the sadhana bhakti, the impetus is still the self-interest is there. But as one practices, then the senses become purified, so that desire also becomes purified. Then one starts to act for the benefit of the Lord, from the heart, from the mind, not from the intelligence. Then the perfection starts at that. When the greed starts, where does the greed start from? I guess from taste, from ruchi. Means after self-realization, nishtha. Then taste actually begins, experience. Then the devotion becomes real, more full, dynamic. Because now, before that, it's mainly done from the intelligence. Acting from the intelligence. No rasa there in the intelligence. But when there's taste, which happens there, when you get through these upadhis, most of them, when you get through that, then you're actually getting happiness from the service itself, and then you're satisfied like that. So this is you've met your goals. Satisfaction and happiness is what we're looking for. But as Prabhupada mentions, the devotee doesn't become satisfied thinking he's reached the limit, because it's unlimited. That's when devotion really starts. That's when happiness really takes off from there. That's just the beginning. Getting out of the problem is not really much happiness. As Ambarish, he considers what was that one? He considered the happiness even of the higher planets insignificant. What is big of here, even Swaga, he considered that insignificant because he had taste. You can't actually say it with feeling, unless you actually have taste. then you can say these things with actual realization, conviction. Because there is nothing to compare with the beauty of devotional service. So the devotional service means establishing the relationship with Krishna, and especially our Krishna, because he's very sweet. Vrindavan is very sweet. So Krishna is very beautiful, very sweet, very loving. All those pastimes are in that ambience there. So as one realizes Krishna, the greatness of Krishna, the qualities of Krishna, the sweetness of Krishna, the kindness of Krishna, then his love increases more and more. And so therefore he becomes more greedy to have it. So this is the strange effect of bhakti. You become more greedy because your love increases. Then when you get that opportunity again, that darshan again, then you're still not fulfilled. Because the more love you have for Krishna, the more he reveals himself. His supreme personality. He's rasaraj, so he's full of all these rasas. He's an ocean of different rasas. So according to your degree of love, to that degree Krishna shows. But he's unlimited. So the more we see, the more we experience that love, then the greater the hankering, the more greedy you become. Because it's even better than you imagined it was. So then when that union is not there, then there's that hankering, that greed, it comes up again, lobhyam. That greed comes, and it comes more this time. The greed when we're greedy for something, it means when we're desperate for something, it means we really intensely feel a lacking, right? Then we'll do anything to get that. That's greed. That's what we experience. So it's a similar thing. Yeah. You feel that intense lacking. So the more you advance, then the more Krishna reveals his sweetness, the more Krishna reveals his beauty, the more charming aspects of Krishna you'll see. How he's so endearing, and he's such a nice friend. Then you feel even more unworthy. That's how you feel, because Krishna's just increased your understanding of him on that, in that sweet atmosphere. So then you'll hanker more. Then you become more greedy. And then when there's unity again, you'll see how Krishna is so nice, and his recipients is although I'm not useless, that he's so kind to me, and he's not minding my disabilities. He's showing me so much mercy and affection that you feel humbled and small and more appreciated of Krishna. What a great personality he is. So then your love for him increases. So as your love increases, then Krishna shows you even more kindness, more sweetness, more intimacy, more beauty. And that's overwhelming. So that reduces your status again and increases your not only affection, but increases your appreciation of Krishna. So it has a strange effect, Getting what you desire only increases your hankering for it. And there's no end. It's like when Krishna, when the gopis see Krishna and appreciate his beauty, then their faces blossom. And they become very, very effulgent and very beautiful. Then when Krishna sees that, how they're beautiful they are, then he feels his beauty increases also. And then when the gopis see how more beautiful Krishna has become, then they're feeling that. They also become transformed and become more beautiful. So it says in this way there's a transcendental competition, and nobody is a winner. Because it's unlimited. Krishna has no end. So that this is a strange thing about the greed. You're greedy for something, you get it, but it only increases your greed. You're greedy for something, you're really anxious for something, you get it, and it only increases your feeling of lacking. So then you feel more humble, more dependent. That's how it works. We've heard. That's what the acharyas are saying, like that. And that's what we want, right? The ultimate experience, the ultimate happiness, the ultimate shelter, the ultimate everything, the ultimate devastation. You feel devastated when you may not see Krishna, but that's experience. People, jump off of bridges with a piece of rubber around their foot just for that experience. You're coming so close to. So all the experiences are there. The ultimate experience is with Krishna. So all your actual, because we're not experiencing those now, we're finding, inventing material ways to imitate them unknowingly, right? So we're inventing a new way to enjoy different way. So this is the greed, but Srila Prabhupada is quoting Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So anyway, saying that, but we should be anxious to do these things. Ambrish left the forest to take Vanapras, but it wasn't exactly like we take Vanapras. When we take Vanapras, we go to get free from the attachments. That's it. Because one in the Grihastha ashram, one becomes very attached because there's a license for sense gratification. That's why everyone goes there practically, because you're feeling there's some security there, right? You got your house, you got your insurance policy, you got your so you got your security, and then you got your wife, you're there, your pleasure, and your husband. You got your pleasure, you got your security there. But and we think that's it. That will fulfill me. But as we heard yesterday in a wonderful expo on the Grihastha Vanapras ashram, it was nice. Actually, it was nice to hear that class yesterday, because Mataji said that Krishna says, Arjun, you tell. He said, because if you tell, people may not believe me, but they'll believe you. You would tell my devotees not doing all those things. So it's nice that a Mataji lady was speaking like that, because when the sannyasis speak like that, people say, yeah, it's just sannyas, brahmacharis are speaking like that. But when a Mataji speaks like that, so it's very like people will believe it, because they had that experience. So, but Ambrish is not going he's not going for spiritual realization, for purification, which he's going there so he can just concentrate on direct bhajan to Krishna, and not be encumbered with the not universal, but the planetary management and all the responsibilities that go with it. He wants to be free from those, because he has a much greater taste. He wants to relish that. He's done his service as a king. He's done all his duty, and it's the time now. This is a rule. You're supposed to get out after that age 50. You let the strong young people take over. You go. So you're supposed to do that. So that's what he's doing. But he's already a perfect devotee. But he's doing it anyway. He's following the rules as a perfect devotee. You have to follow some lifestyle, right? Even your transcendental, you have to follow some kind of lifestyle if you want to function in society. If you want to be like the avadut, Brahmin, that's different. Then you're indifferent. But normally there has to be some kind of lifestyle. There has to be some kind of culture. So therefore, even though the Vaishnavas are transcendental, they accept the culture of Varnashram, they accept the lifestyle of Varnashram, because you've got to accept something. So this is the best culture, why not take that? But not attached to it, not identifying with it as being part of it. But Ambrish was above that, obviously, way above that. But he took it, so now he could just relish his bhajan, direct devotional service with Krishna, Shravanam, Kirtan, Smaranam, like that. So he is displaying we're hearing about the characteristics of the pure unalloyed devotees here. This ends this chapter, so this is preparation so that we can understand where we should be aspiring to reach this position, to give up all of these designations that we become dependent on, we think are important and necessary, but ultimately not. Ambrish was the emperor. So much facility, so much opportunity, but he didn't care for it. So that's what you want, the higher taste. There's no satisfaction anywhere in the three worlds. There's no real satisfaction, because you can't stay anywhere permanently in the three worlds. So it's frustrating. So therefore Ambrish has become He's the ideal of Atmanivedam. He surrendered all of his and everything unto the Krishna. Jai Ambrish Maharaj ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Bhaktivinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Any comment, question? 5 minutes? Okay.
非常感谢您精彩的讲课，我需要翻译。
继续。
然后，您课中讲到。安布律师马哈拉吉他是一位纯一的奉献者，全然的臣服属于 Krishna 的莲花族。
Thank you very much for your wonderful class. And in your class, you mentioned Ambarish Maharaj is a pure unalloyed devotee of Lord Krishna. Now we are in the holy Dham with beautiful deities inside the temple. But then after some time we have to go back to our own countries. We have to go back to our own cities, and there is no temple, no deities, and even no devotees to associate with. So sometimes we have to face very adverse situations like even robbery or violent situations. When facing such adversities, can we just follow the footsteps of Ambarish Maharaj? We don't think about self-defense, just completely follow his way of meditating on the Lord. Please kindly remove the doubts in my heart. Thank you very much.
You can't follow in his footsteps. I mean, you can't imitate him. He is acting from he was on that platform of love of Krishna. We have our program, for us who are still sadhakas, then we have this program of purification. We're going to purify these upadhis, and that's called Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, 9 devotional processes. So we engage in that, which will purify the senses and make our life auspicious. Anyway, if you're in a place full of adversities, then it's much easier to surrender to Krishna, where you have no other shelter but Krishna. Sometimes you're living in a holy place, holy dham. You only meet devotees. We always hear in kirtan. We take bath in the Ganga. Only association with devotees. Only no demons come here. Only pilgrims. And we think, oh, life is so nice, and we get stuck there. We don't try to move on. But if you're in such a place where you may come from, as soon as you open your doors, it's Maya is right there. So it'll make you very strong. Then you have no recourse but to take shelter of Krishna. So you have to use the situation, whatever it is. You have to use the situation in a positive way to remember Krishna. And remember, what did I do in my last life to get in such a position, to get such a body as this? I won't do it in this life. I'll be very good in this life. I won't risk it again. I get born in a family of devotees in a pious country. So we have our program. There's only one program for everyone. And as your realization or relationship with Krishna develops, then that devotion, your activities will remain the same, but the depth of devotion will get thicker and thicker. Okay? Okay? Otherwise, stay in Mayapur, don't go home. No, but I have some... Right? That's what we preach to the people. Oh, it's so nice in Mayapur, India. I want to stay here. Okay, stay. No, well, I have this to do, I have that to do, I have to... No, stay, forget it. There's a problem. I got to resolve this, I got to get my daughter married, Well, so many problems. Why are you going back? You said it's so nice, stay here. No, because I have to do... Why are you going back for problems when you can stay here? So this is upadi. We have to do it. I'm the controller, I'm the protector of my family. We can't, it's so strong that, without me, how will they exist? How will they live properly? So these are the attachments that we have with the I and mind. Maharaj, enlighten us, please. And Mike.
Hare Krishna, bro. Thank you. Very wonderful class. At the end of the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that devotee by devotional service becomes increasingly liberated. Could you please elaborate on this point?
Yeah, I would say, because, when I read that, increasingly liberated means that's it, right? You're liberated. How can you become more liberated than liberated? I would take it to say increasing the depth of devotion. That's how I would interpret it. Because that's what actually happens. The faith becomes stronger and stronger and thicker. And the faith and love, they're almost synonymous, actually. It's just that the faith is the green mango and the ripe mango. It's just they're both mangoes. It's just a question of time before it comes ripe. So the Shraddha, in the beginning, it's faith. But it's faith in Krishna, and we want to love Krishna. And at the end, it's prema. So I think the increasing liberation would be increasing the depth of devotion. Mind thing. You can say? You have an interpretation?
Well, I was thinking that in the beginning we follow the regulative principles of freedom that helps us to become free from, certain troubles. Then we become free from bad association, etc. So, looks like this is how it's happening.
And the platform of devotional service from any stage is liberation, but it's not self-realization. So maybe it's that also, that the self-realization will actually come. You're not actually feeling the service, but it is service, so you're not getting any karma for what we're doing. We don't accrue any karma for what we're doing now. There's no material reaction for this. So therefore it's a platform of liberation. But we don't feel liberated. We don't perceive that liberation. But the platform of self-realization, that's what it means. You're perceiving yourself, you're perceiving this, and you are the same quality as Krishna. So you're perceiving the spiritual energy. So liberated but not self-realized. Imperceptible liberation, Prabhupada said. Okay, last. Mikey?
Hare Krishna. I was wondering if our free will can ever intervene in Krishna's plan, or if everything that happens to us is predestined by Krishna. Like how to see if it's your free will that you're doing something, or everything happens for a reason because Krishna wants it to happen. Like, can our free will come in between what Krishna wants for us?
It's not Krishna. He's not interfering with your free will. It's not that we're doing whatever Krishna wants us to do. He's doing what we want to do. He's arranging the material energy, what we want to do, to suit our desires. The material universe is for us, not for Krishna. we perpetuate the material universe by our own desires. So those desires devoid of Krishna's pleasure, it means for our pleasure and our gain and our safety, then when we think like that and we act like that, that creates the material activity. And that's all that's going on. But of course it's temporary, so it doesn't last. It dissolves again. So then you have to keep on making these plans, keep on acting. And that's the samsara. But Krishna's not responsible. He said, Krishna sanctions it. He sanctions the material energy to work like this. He empowers the demigods to give and take. He's doing all that. He said, but although I'm the doer, because you can't do anything without Krishna, although I'm not responsible for your results, you're responsible for the results, but I'm not responsible for your activities. So that the choice we have, the freedom we actually have, if we know, we can try to do it our way, or we can try to do it Krishna's way. That's actual freedom. So when we do it Krishna's way, then he assists. When you don't do it his way, you're on your own. So it's not. It doesn't interfere with the free will, and he's not deciding how things should be. The laws he's already made the laws, and they're working like that. Or the 33 crores of demigods are executing his will. But and the rules are there. If you act like this is the result you get. You worship the demigods, you worship. So he's given the rule. Now it's up to you how you behave in the world. You're here, the rules are there, and if you're lucky, you can find out what the rules are, and you can have guides and things like that. That's our good luck. We've got that. Otherwise, but you can choose to not follow. So most of the world is making their own program for their happiness and safety in the material world, but it's not working. You see, nobody's really satisfied. So, but that's their free will. Krishna's not interfering. So, if you want to do something bad, bad means will take you a lower stage of life. If Krishna sanctions it, he doesn't interfere. But he's sanctioned it. That's what you want. That super soul. He's not very merciful. The super soul, right? He doesn't. The Guru is merciful. He'll interfere. Stop that nonsense. Right? Don't do that. Don't go that way. Go this way. Stop that. Don't. Right? No intoxication. No illicit sex. No gambling. No meditating. You stay there. You'll be safe. Don't go outside. Don't go outside. That's for your safety, and then then practically you come to the mode of goodness if you observe those things. Then it's a much easier platform to perform devotional service, more peaceful, you see. So it's not Krishna's deciding what we do, but he's sanctioning it. Jai Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.